Note, this is episode 5 of the Fire Emblem Revelations Rewrite series. If you have not watched parts 1, 2, 3, or 4 yet, pause this and watch it with a little info card in the top right. I appreciate your time and I want to pay it back with giving a comprehensive experience. Now, let's get to the show. In Chapter 21, the game goes for a soft reset and is set 14 years after Chapter 20X, meaning all the kids are at least in their teens, with the youngest being Kana at age 14 and Shiro being the oldest at age 20. Following Chapter 20X, Vala is brought to the surface and all 3 continents are connected by land. The chapter begins with cutscene in Vala, where Azora and her husband, as well as Corrin and his spouse, are raising their children peacefully. Everything is fine until Azora notices something dark in the sky that's growing very quickly. She rushes over to Corrin's house and pleads for Corrin to run out immediately. Of course, Corrin is an idiot, so he stays to fight whatever it might be, and has the children go into hiding beneath the homes. The dark, growing figure is none other than Anankos, looking very angry and violated. Corrin tries to defend against Anankos, but is killed in battle, as his allies are fragmented and nowhere to be seen, Azora falling quickly as well. Anankos then takes off for Nor and Hoshido to try to finish everyone else off. The cutscene then ends and returns the game to Kana and Shigure, Kana being scared out of her mind and Shigure being pissed the hell off. As they lay low beneath the house and things get quiet, they hear a couple figures shifting around upstairs and breaking things. The fight then begins, where Kana and Shigure need to defend against a total 6 faceless, one of which holds 4 chest keys. To clear the chapter, the children must open the character-specific chests. Kana and Shigure will start off with a Daikon Radish and Broom, respectively, but once they open the chests, they'll gain the rest of their inventory. What's of particular note here is that Shigure is not a Pegasus Knight, but rather a new class, the Singer, to couple with his mother Songstress class. In the 2 chests Kana opens, they will find the Yato as well as anything else in Corrin's spouse's inventory at the end of Chapter 20X, along with a note saying, "If you've opened these chests, it means I've been killed. Kana, I know this hurts, but you need to be strong for both of us. We love you, please, just stay safe. Signed, Corrin. P.S. You are in charge of a convoy we built up for years. Use the wares effectively." Meanwhile, Shigure's chests holds the inventories of Azora's and her husband's items, as well as a letter urging Shigure to make use of his singing when the moment is right, as well as telling him to check on both Nor and Hoshido. Kana's and Shigure's potential siblings will have traveled there for nobility reasons. At the end of a chapter, you'll be given an option to follow either Kana or Shigure. If you wish to follow Kana, you'll play through their journey to Nor. If you wish to follow Shigure, you'll play through his journey to Hoshido. Both pathways will realign at Chapter 25. In Chapter 22, Kana or Shigure will make their way either to Mount Geru or the Kitsune Hamlet, depending on if you chose Kana or Shigure. At Mount Geru, Kana will notice the destroyed mountainside, with the many rock piles being where they clearly shouldn't be and a scorched earth serving as plenty of evidence. In the distance, Kana will hear someone sobbing very loudly. After some trekking, he finds Valoria in a ball sobbing, with Ignatius nearby to try to comfort her. Kana mistakes Ignatius as an enemy and strikes at his armor, which even with the Yato does absolutely nothing. Valoria gets very irritated and almost attacks Kana out of retaliation for, quote, attacking the only person she has left. But Ignatius holds her back after recognizing the sword. The 3 then trade stories about everything that went down with them, and the 3 stories all sound eerily similar. The trio then decides to team up, with Valoria leading the way with her powerful beast stone already on hand. Before they can go far though, Valoria tells the 2 to get ready for battle because, as her nose correctly identifies, monsters are coming. These monsters are all Moth Dukes, and in order to clear the map, a player simply needs to defeat all the Moth Dukes. Once that's done, Kana will stress that we need to get to Nor so they can see if the rest of Apparence's allies are alright. To which Valoria and Ignatius happily assist with as, quote, they have nothing else left in this world anyway. Almost the exact same circumstances occur at the Kitsune hamlet, except Shigure has Selkie and Rajat, who has been replaced by a similar character named Tsukiko, to deal with, and Shigure tries to lunge at Tsukiko instead of attacking with a weapon. If Zora married either Kaden or Hayato, Shigure and Selkie/Tsukiko will share a small conversation where they are happy to see the other one is still alive. Similar conversations will occur between Kana and either Valoria or Ignatius. Following the events of Mount Geru, Kana's group will head to Windmire, while Shigure's group will head to the Hoshido Grotto, the name I'm giving the unnamed location where you fight Hinoka in Fire Emblem Conquest. In Chapter 23, depending on pathway, the group will be starting in either Windmire or the Hoshido Grotto. While there's no evidence of any sort of motive yet, Kana's group and Shigure's group are both seeing the damage and devastation of Anankos' wrath. Destroyed buildings and scorched lands marking everywhere they go. While Windmire still looks roughly the same, just with destroyed buildings, the Hoshido Grotto has turned from a lush cherry blossom garden into a cesspool of hazardous materials, marked especially by a large pool of poison in the middle, and the once streaming, shimmering waters now being replaced by acidic waste. In Windmire, Kana's group is looking specifically for either Effie or Odin, two of Korn's friends that were spoken very highly of, but come with no such luck. Instead, they come across Ophelia sobbing profusely, hunched over her father's treasury. After relaying their stories, Kana, Ignatius, and Valoria all convince Ophelia to come with them to try to avenge her parents. Before Ophelia can leave though, she begs the group to help her find Percy, Soleil, and Nina, her childhood friends. The group agrees to help her, and the camera pans out to showcase Percy, Soleil, and Nina all at 3 different castle structures, with 2 chests and holding 2 chest keys. Before they start taking a leisurely walk to free them, 2 men walk onto the field, their names being Seno and Zara. While the majority of their conversation is nothing major, the main point they bring up is they need to, quote, obey the Alliance contract and kill the children. The 2 allow their men, which are all Norian units, to take the field and go to work as they walk off. To clear the map, you must defeat all the enemies and free Percy, Nina, and Soleil. Most of the enemies will be mercenaries, enemies that Ophelia should have absolutely no issues with clearing out, as well as the rest of your main squad. The 2 bosses on this map are a Cavalier and a Knight. Enemies Percy should be able to take on with some assistance from Ophelia. After all the enemies are gone and the children are freed, the children begin to converse and start coming to the conclusion that something is out to take out their parents. Valoria is the first to get dark, saying, "As we sit here now, Prince Ryoma is probably taking his last breath." Which gets everyone pretty worried concerning the OP powerhouse he is. Kana is the first to gather some courage following that line, saying that their mom/dad would not have wanted them to lay down and give up. After some rallying, Kana convinces the rest of the group to keep going, find the royal children at Castle Krakenberg, and then try to find Shigure's group. Shigure's group, meanwhile, has a similar dilemma, except there are no castles the children are trapped in, and instead many enemies are surrounding them instead. Mitama, Isame, and 2 characters similar to Asugi and Keldori, named Hidaki and Hotaru, respectively, will be huddled up near the toxic pool recounting their misfortunes. Shigure, Selkie, and Tsukiko start conversing with the group and come to the same conclusion Kana's group came to at the end of their battle. As they go to leave for Castle Shirasagi, the group is ambushed by a group of Moguls, under the leadership of a man named Funk. The group simply needs to kill the Moguls, and once they do, they then proceed to Castle Shirasagi with a renewed determination to avenge their parents. If a sibling of either child is met in this chapter, a conversation akin to Chapter 22's sibling conversation will play out. In Chapter 24, the group will make their way to either Castle Krakenberg or Castle Shirasagi, depending on if you're following Kana or Shigure. In Castle Krakenberg, Kana, Valoria, Ignatius, Ophelia, Nina, Percy, and Soleil begin to survey the destroyed castle. While Soleil will notice the castle is refurbished from the days of her childhood, the progress is starkly contrasted by broken and collapsed pillars all over the place. Nina doubts the royal children would still be here, but to Nina's surprise, a man in a black coat and blonde hair walks down the jagged staircase with 3 following behind him. The man in the cloak is Cain, Elise's son that takes a massive cue from Leo's upbringing, but is very much his own man, and is a dark mage. Following him are Siegbert, Forrest, and Wynne. Camilla's son, who takes a massive amount of pride in his muscles, is a Wyvern Knight, and has a dragon tattoo on his chest. While the reunion between the retainer children and the royals is great, the 4 royal children warn the 7 that came to be careful, as someone's been in the castle attacking them all day. As if on cue, Gazak appears out of the shadows with a group of fighters, telling them to take out the children for the glory of, quote, the Alliance. 2 words Cain writes down in the book he's carrying. To clear the chapter, you simply need to defeat all the enemies on the map, Gazak excluded, as he vacates the map right at the beginning of the story. The boss on the map, instead, is a fighter at level 11. As fighters all carry axes, Kana, Soleil, Cain, and Ophelia should have a field day, with Percy and Wynne getting a decent workout as well. The boss fighter will note something about a contract with, quote, the Silent One, while not mentioning anything else. Following the map, Cain will speculate heavily on the words the Alliance and the Silent One, trying to tie them together to what has happened with all of them so far. The children try to brainstorm the meaning, but come to the conclusion that they need to reconvene with the other group, and thus make their way back to Vala. Meanwhile, Shigure, Selkie, Tsukiko, Mitama, Isume, Hidaki, and Hotaru find a similar landscape within Castle Shirasaki, with all 4 royal children still being fine, but all the adults being dead, making the fears of both groups confirmed. Alongside Shiro and Kuragi are Sora, Hinoka's daughter that's pretty damn ditzy, a Pegasus Knight and pretty much the opposite of Hinoka in personality, and Hanoka, Sakura's daughter and a diviner that's about as reserved as Sakura, but takes a liking to playing piano and to her garden of flowers. Fighting this group is Tarba, another man who mentions, quote, the Silent One and, quote, the Alliance, albeit a bit more loudly. Shiro shouts and demands answers, but Tarba simply shrugs, snaps, and summons a bunch of Oni savages to the field before walking off. Oni savages all being axe units. Shiro should have absolutely no issues flying through the map, with Tsukiko, Isume, and Hanoka doing some work as well. The boss of the map will simply repeat, quote, the Alliance and, quote, the Silent One phrases without giving anything more away. Between Funk and Tarba, as well as the 2 phrases, Shigure's group is very confused, and feels like trading notes will be best to figure out the situation. Thus, Shigure's group travels to Vala to try to figure everything out that's going on alongside Kana. And with that, that's the end of part 5 of the Fire Emblem Revelations rewrite. I will go ahead and apologize for this taking so long to get to you guys. I've been pretty burnt out the last couple weeks between work, trying to figure out when to stream, trying to script, everything. But you know what? I have someone to finally ease that mindset. It is my roommate, who is now my editor as well, Kyla. She is amazing at what she does, and she will be the one editing the videos in the future. So, big thank you to her. If you want to see some more Fire Emblem content, you can click the box that's going to be on the top right. If you want to subscribe, like, well, you're more than free to do so. Thank you guys, and until next time, this is Joeypals signing out. See ya!